Mrs. Slater is seen laying the table. She is a vigorous, plump, red-faced woman, prepared to do any amount of straight talking to get her own way. She is in black, but not in complete mourning. She listens a moment and then goes to the window, opens it and calls into the street.
Victoria! Victoria! Dee here? Come in, will you? I'm amazed at you, Victoria. I really am. How you can be wandering about in the street with your grandfather lying dead and cold upstairs, I don't know. Be off now. And change your dress before your Aunt Elizabeth and your Uncle Ben come. What are they coming for? They haven't been here for ages. They're coming to talk over poor Grandpa's affairs. Your father sent them a telegram as soon as we found he was dead. Good gracious, that's never them. No, thank goodness. It's only your father.
Not come yet, eh?
You can see they haven't, can't you? Now, Victoria, be off upstairs. Put your white frock on with a black sash. I'm not satisfied, but it's the best we can do till our new black's ready. And Ben and Elizabeth will never have thought about mourning yet, so we'll outshine them there.
I'm wondering if they'll come at all. When you and Elizabeth quarrelled, she said she'd never set foot in your house again.
She'll come fast enough, after her share of what Grandfather's left. Henry, I've been thinking about that bureau of Grandfather's that's in his bedroom. You know I always wanted to have it after he died. Why shouldn't we bring that bureau down here now? We could do it before they come.
I wouldn't care to.
Why not?
It doesn't seem delicate, somehow.
We could put that shabby old chest of drawers upstairs where the bureau is now. Elizabeth could have that and welcome. I've always wanted to get rid of it.
Suppose they come when we're doing it.
I'll fasten the front door. Get your coat off. Henry, we'll change it. I'll run up and move the chairs out of the way. Will you fasten my frock up the back, Mother? I'm busy. Get your father to do it. I thought I'd fetch this down as well. Our clock's worth nothing and this always appealed to me. That's Grandpa's clock. It's ours now. Come, Henry, lift your end. Victoria, don't breathe a word to your aunt about the clock and the bureau. Victoria, if that's your aunt and uncle, you're not to open the door. Mother, it's them. You're not to open the door till I come down. Let them knock away. Mind the wall, Henry. That was a near thing. Open the door, Victoria. Now, Henry, get your coat on. Well, Amelia. And he's gone at last. Yes, he's gone. He was 72 a fortnight last Sunday.
Now, Amelia, you mustn't give way. We've all got to die sometime or other. It might have been worse.
I don't see how.
It might have been one of us. It's taken you a long time to get here, Elizabeth.
Oh, I couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it. Couldn't do what? I couldn't start without getting the mourning. We've ordered ours, you may be sure. I never could fancy buying ready-made things. No? For myself, it's such a relief to get into the black. And now perhaps you'll tell us all about it. Father had been merry this morning. He went out soon after breakfast to pay his insurance.
My word, it's a good thing he did.
He always was thoughtful in that way. He was too honourable to have gone without paying his premium. Well, he must have gone round to the Ringo Bell afterwards, for he came in as merry as a sandboy. I says, we're only waiting Henry to start dinner. Dinner? He says, I don't want no dinner. I'm going to bed.
Ah, dear, dear. And when I came in, I found him snug in bed.
And when we had finished dinner, I thought I'd take up a bit of something on a tray. He was lying there for all the world as if he was asleep. So I put the tray down on the bureau, on the chest of drawers, and went to waken him. He was quite cold.
Then I heard Amelia calling for me and I ran upstairs.
Of course we could do nothing. He was gone?
There wasn't any doubt.
I always knew he'd go sudden in the end. Well, will you go up and look at him now, or shall we have tea? What do you say, Ben?
I'm not particular.
Well then, if the kettle's ready, we may as well have tea first.
One thing we may as well decide now. The announcement in the papers.
I was thinking of that. What would you put? At the residence of his daughter, 235 Upper Conbank Street, etc.
You wouldn't care for a bit of poetry.
I like Never Forgotten. It's refined.
Yes, but it's rather soon for that. You couldn't very well have forgotten him the day after.
I always fancy a loving husband, a kind father, and a faithful friend.
Do you think that's right? I don't think it matters whether it's right or not.
No, it's more for the look of the thing.
I saw a verse in the evening news yesterday. Proper poetry it was. It rhymed. Despised and forgotten by some you may be, but the spot that contains you is sacred to we.
That'll never do. You don't say sacred to we.
It's in the paper.
You wouldn't say it if you were speaking properly, but it's different in poetry.
Poetic license, you know.
No, that'll never do. We want a verse that says how much we loved him and refers to all his good qualities and says what a heavy loss we've had. You want a whole poem. That'll cost a good lot. Well, we'll think about it after tea, and then we'll look through his bits of things and make a list of them. There's all the furniture in his room.
There's no jewelry or valuables of that sort.
Except his gold watch. He promised that to our Jimmy. Promised your Jimmy? I never heard of that. Oh, but he did, Amelia, when he was living with us. He was very fond of Jimmy. Well, I don't know.
Anyhow, there's his insurance money. Have you got the receipt for the premium he paid this morning?
I've not seen it. Mother, I don't think Grandpa went to pay his insurance this morning. He went out. Yes, but he didn't go into the town. He met old Mr. Tattersall down the street, and they went off past St. Philip's Church. To the Ringo Bells, I'll be bound.
The Ringo Bells.
That public house that John Shorrock's widow keeps. He's always hanging about there. Oh, if he hasn't paid it...
Do you think he hasn't paid it? Was it overdue?
I should think it was overdue. Something tells me he has not paid it. I know it. He's not paid it.
The drunken old beggar.
He's done it on purpose just to annoy us. After all, I've done for him. Having to put up with him in the house these 3 years, it's nothing short of swindling. I had to put up with him for 5 years. And you were trying to turn him over to us all the time.
But we don't know for certain that he's not paid the premium.
I do. It's come over me all at once that he hasn't. Victoria, run upstairs and fetch that bunch of keys that's on your grandpa's dressing table. In Grandpa's room? Yes. I don't like to. Don't talk so silly. There's no one can hurt you. We'll see if he's locked the receipt up in the bureau.
In where? In this thing?
Where did you pick that up, Amelia? It's new since last I was here. Oh, Henry picked it up one day. I like it. It's artistic. Did you buy it at an auction?
Hey, where did I buy it, Amelia?
Yes, at an auction.
Oh, second-hand.
Don't show your ignorance, Ben. All artistic things are second-hand. Look at those old masters. Mother! Mother! What is it, child? Grandpa's getting up.
What?
What did you say? Grandpa's getting up. The child's crazy. Don't talk so silly. Don't you know your grandpa's dead? No, he's getting up. I saw him. You'd better go up and see for yourself, Amelia. Here, come with me, Henry.
Hist, listen. What's the matter with little Vicky? Hello, what brings you here? Oh, how's yourself, Ben?
Grandfather, is that you?
Of course it's me. Don't do that, Amelia. What the devil do you mean by this tomfoolery?
He's not dead.
It doesn't seem like it. You've kept away long enough, Lizzie, and now you've come you don't seem overpleased to see me.
You took us by surprise, Father. Are you keeping quite well?
Hey, what?
Are you quite well?
I'm right enough, but for a bit of a headache. I wouldn't mind betting that I'm not the first in this house to be carried to the cemetery. I always think Henry there looks none too healthy.
Well, I never... Oh, Grandpa, I'm so glad you're not dead. Hold your tongue, Victoria.
Hey, what's that? Who's gone dead?
Victoria says she's sorry about your head.
Thank you, Vicky, but I'm feeling better.
He's so fond of Victoria. Yes, he's fond of our Jimmy too. You'd better ask him if he promised your Jimmy his gold watch. I couldn't just now. I don't feel equal to it.
Why, Ben, you're in mourning. And Lizzie too. And Melia and Henry and little Vicky. Who's gone dead? It's someone in the family.
No one you know, Father. A relation of Ben's.
And what relation of Ben's?
His brother.
Hang it, I never had one. Dear, dear. And what was his name, Ben?
Frederick. Albert.
Fedalb, Isaac. Isaac? And where did your brother Isaac die? In Australia. Dear, dear. He'd be older than you, eh? Yes, 5 years. Aye. Are you going to the funeral? Oh, yes.
No.
No, of course not. Well, I suppose you've only been waiting for me to begin tea. I'm feeling hungry.
I'll make tea.
Come along now, sit you down and let's be jolly.
Henry, give Grandpa some pie.
Thank you. I'll make a start. Glad to see you've got an appetite, Mr. Merriweather, although you've not been so well. And nothing serious. I've been lying down for a bit.
Been to sleep, Grandfather?
No, I've not been to sleep.
Oh.
I can't exactly call everything to mind, but I remember I was a bit dazed, like I couldn't move an inch, hand or foot. And could you see and hear, Mr. Merriweather? Yes, but I don't remember seeing anything particular. Mustard, Ben?
Of course not, Grandfather. It was all your fancy. You must have been asleep.
I tell you I wasn't asleep. Melia, damn it, I ought to know.
Didn't you see Henry or Amelia come into the room?
Now, let me think.
I wouldn't press him, Elizabeth. Don't press him.
I wouldn't worry him. Begad, Melia and Henry, what the devil did you mean by shifting my bureau out of my bedroom? Do you hear me? Henry? Melia?
What bureau was that, Father?
Why, my bureau, the one I bought.
Was it that one, Father?
That's it. What's it doing here, eh? Drat me if that isn't my clock too. What the devil's been going on in this house? Well, I'll be hanged.
I'll tell you what's been going on in this house, Father. Nothing short of robbery. Be quiet, Elizabeth. I'll not be quiet. Oh, I call it double-faced.
Now, Elizabeth.
And you too. Are you such a poor creature that you must do every dirty thing she tells you? Remember where you are, Elizabeth.
Come, no quarrelling. My wife's every right to speak her own mind.
Then she can speak it outside, not here.
Damn it all. Will someone tell me what's been going on?
Yes, I will. I'll not see you robbed.
Who's been robbing me?
Amelia and Henry. They've stolen your clock and bureau. They sneaked into your room like a thief in the night and stole them after you were dead. Hush! Quiet, Elizabeth. I'll not be stopped. After you were dead, I say.
After who was dead?
You.
But I'm not dead.
No, but they thought you were.
Oh ho, so that's why you're all in black today. You thought I was dead? That was a big mistake.
Grandfather.
It didn't take you long to start dividing my things between you.
No, Father, you mustn't think that. Amelia was simply getting hold of them on her own account.
You always were a keen one, Amelia. I suppose you thought the will wasn't fair. Did you make a will? Yes, it was locked up in the bureau.
And what was in it, Father?
That doesn't matter now. I'm thinking of destroying it and making another.
Grandfather, you'll not be hard on me.
I'll trouble you for another cup of tea, Melia. 2 lumps and plenty of milk.
With pleasure, Grandfather.
I don't want to be hard on anyone. Since your mother died, I've lived part of the time with you, Melia, and part with you, Lizzie. Well, I shall make a new will, leaving all my bits of things to whomever I'm living with when I die. How does that strike you? It's a bit of a lottery, like.
And who do you intend to live with from now?
I'm just coming to that.
You know, Father, it's quite time you came to live with us again. We'd make you very comfortable. No, he's not been with us as long as he was with you. I may be wrong, but I don't think Father will fancy living on with you after what's happened today.
So you'd like to have me again, Lizzie?
You know, we're ready for you to make your home with us for as long as you please.
What do you say to that, Melia?
All I can say is that Elizabeth's changed her mind in the last 2 years. Grandfather, do you know what the quarrel between us was about? Amelia,
Don't be a fool. Sit down.
No, if I'm not to have him, you shan't either. We quarrelled because Elizabeth said she wouldn't take you off our hands at any price. She said she'd enough of you to last a lifetime, and we'd got to keep you.
It seems to me that neither of you has any cause to feel proud about the way you've treated me.
If I've done anything wrong, I'm sure I'm sorry for it.
And I can't say more than that too.
It's a bit late to say it now. You neither of you care to put up with me.
No, grandfather.
You both say that because of what I've told you about leaving my money. Well, since you don't want me, I'll go to someone that does. Come, Mr. Merriweather, you've got to live with one of your daughters. I'll tell you what I've got to do. On Monday next, I've got to do 3 things. I've got to go to the lawyers and alter my will, and I've got to go to the insurance office and pay my premium, and I've got to go to St. Philip's Church and get married. What?
Get married?
He's out of his senses.
I say I'm going to get married.
Who to?
To Mrs. John Shorrocks, who keeps the Ringo Bells. We've had it fixed up a good while now, but I was keeping it for a pleasant surprise. I felt I was a bit of a burden to you, so I found someone who'd think it a pleasure to look after me. We shall be very glad to see you at the ceremony. Till Monday then, 12 o'clock at St. Philip's Church. It's a good thing you brought that bureau downstairs, Melia. It'll be handier to carry across to the Ringo Bells on Monday.